Welcome to another episode of GeekOutdoors.com. And as you can probably tell back there, that's my new best friend. It's Deadpool. And yes, this is my review of the Deadpool movie. I just saw it and I had to leave my review for you. Now, just a little backstory. The reason why I was really hyped up to see this movie because I remember this character back in the 90s when I was younger, I was collecting comic books, and this character Deadpool was created by a very famous Marvel comic artist at the time. His name was Rob Liefeld. He was responsible for making the X-Force series really popular for Marvel. I actually had X-Force series number 1 sealed in a plastic bag. And he also went on with other very famous Marvel artists to create Image Comics. You know, him, Todd McFarlane, Mark Silvestri, and Jim Lee, among many others. They went on to create Image Comics and Youngblood. Anyway, that's the reason why I was so interested in Deadpool. I've always loved this character. He was always a cool character, and he's developed over the years. And so, as you remember, Deadpool has been played before by none other than Ryan Reynolds in that horrible, horrible Wolverine movie. It was just so bad. And so, this was actually never meant to happen, this movie. You know, they did it kind of like as a joke, and, 20th Century Fox actually made like a, funny spoof of it, a little clip. And then, there's a lot of fan made trailers made. And when you know it, the fans wanted this movie, and it is actually here. And there might be a few spoilers, so if you have not seen this movie, definitely go check it out first and then come back and watch this video. But the main thing that I love about this movie over anything else is it's very story driven, it's character driven, and it is just so much fun. I mean, it's a really fun movie. And so, from the opening credits, this is one of the most creative opening credits that I've ever seen. It knows what it is, and it knows it's a comic book movie, and so it doesn't take too long for it to say, "Hey, we're a comic book movie, so we're gonna go with it." And so there was humor right at the beginning opening credits. I just couldn't help but laugh, and you see what I mean. There's lots of nods to comic book fans as well, and you'll see what I mean from the very first opening credits. It's great, and the movie starts off action packed, but action packed in a very Deadpool humorous way, and it sets up the whole story, and so there it's like kind of like where it's like it starts at the end or in the middle of the movie and then it goes to the beginning, which is really awesome and it's done really really well. And during the action scene, after it starts getting to the story, you start to learn more and more about who Deadpool is, Wade Wilson, and then the whole movie is really a relationship story. It's about him and his love interest Vanessa, and that pretty much ties the whole movie together. I mean, it shows Deadpool's motivation. It also shows the motivations of all the other characters around him. Specifically why he really hates the villain Ajax so much. Why the other X-Men characters, Colossus and Negasonic, I can't remember her name, but why they're involved as well. And speaking of the other two X-Men characters, man, I love Colossus in this movie. It is just so funny. The way his character is portrayed, the way he looks, the way he talks. This is how Colossus should be made, and this is probably the best that he's ever been in a Marvel movie so far. Way better than he's been in the other X-Men movies. So now let's talk about briefly about the villain itself. Now the guy who plays the main villain Ajax, he actually was in the most recent Transporter reboot movie, which was a very forgettable movie. In this movie, he does a really good job. I mean, and what I mean by that is he gives the audience a reason to hate him. We know why Deadpool hates him, and so he does a really great job in doing that. Is he the best villain ever played in a Marvel movie? No, he isn't. But he's head and shoulders better than any other of the villains that I've seen so far in the past Marvel movies here recently. Now, Deadpool itself, the way that they dealt with his origin, it's very close to the comic books. Now, there's a very, very many different origin stories, but this one sticks really close to it. And let's go ahead and go back to the actual story itself. So, I mean, quite simply, it's a revenge flick. That's all it is. But the way it's told in a very creative, very funny way. Let's go with the fun part. This movie has so many wonderful one-liners. it's really funny. I mean, he's making fun of everybody, including like there's a scene that he talks about how they couldn't afford another X-Men character. 20th Century Fox couldn't afford another X-Men character, so that's why they only have two. That was funny. And there's so many times where Deadpool is looking at the screen and just talking to the actual audience. He knows what this is, which is awesome. I mean, and it does it in a way where it makes sense. And that's one thing I want to really talk about, making sense. Everything that's done in this movie, from the characters, from the action, from the effects, everything, it's all there to actually serve the movie, serve the story, serve the character. So everything that's done, it makes sense, and it's really, really what just puts it above a lot of the other comic book movies that are out there. And just to put this out there, Guardians of the Galaxy is my favorite Marvel movie. It's the most fun, and this is my second favorite one, easily. And so, going back to the movie, I know I'm jumping around a lot, but I like the other characters in the movie as well. I really like his best friend Weasel, played by T.J. Miller. He was really, really funny. And also, I really do have to talk about Vanessa, his love interest. I mean, she's not just there as his love interest. I mean, he's there as his partner. He's there as his motivation. She's just his everything. And you actually care about her and all the other characters. Even the blind woman, as you'll see, she's funny. I mean, every single character in this movie, you really feel something for. Even the villains. I mean, even though they could be a simple cookie cutter ones, they actually have character to them, which is great. And throughout the whole movie, there really wasn't ever a moment where I got bored. It's a very, very quick movie. Scenes cut through fast. And the action is done really, really well. Very slick, and it's not just action for the sake of action. It's great. Like I said, it serves the movie very well. In terms of negatives, to be honest with you, about the only negative I could think of, I wish the movie was longer because it was just so much fun. And um, it's a movie that, a lot like Guardians of the Galaxy, you could go back and watch over and over again, you know. And I like how they put in a lot of like, emotional tension in there as well, in terms of like he's going through a lot of turmoil with him, and then having to face, his love interest as well, with the condition that he's in. And by the end of the movie, you're just laughing. I mean, you laughed at the beginning and you're laughing at the end, and that's probably one of the highest praise that you could give for a movie like this. So, um, I'm trying to think if I'm missing anything, but at this point, it was just a really, really fun movie. So definitely go check it out. You won't be disappointed. You'll probably go back and watch it some more. And speaking of the rated R rating, this is a hard R. Okay, I just want to point that out. So if you are going to take your kids and stuff for, this is a hard R. There's lots of decapitation. There's lots of blood. Lots of cursing. There is some sexual scenes as well. And so a lot of that in there. This is a very hard R movie, which makes it all the more better because they didn't have anything restricting them. So that is it for my review of Deadpool. If you've seen it, or you leave your comments below, and if you have not seen it, leave your comments below there as well. And as always, if you did like these videos, be sure to subscribe. And for full written episodes, audio episodes, and more geek content, head over to geekoutdoors.com, and I'll see you outdoors on the very next episode.